Hey, what's going on YouTube family? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mark, where I like talking all things music, news stories, and my own personal series, Mark Under the Microscope, where I give you an inside look into who I am as a person through inspirational and motivational vlogging. So if you like things like that, please remember to slash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. I drop videos like this every Monday and Friday and every day in between. And also, leave me comments down below. I love interacting with you guys, and I also do subscriber requests, so huge shout out to my subscribers out there. I love you guys because without you, there would be no me and there would be no channel. But I think I've talked enough, so let's just jump straight into these videos. Let's go!
I knew you'd come. Somehow I just knew you'd find me. Not knowing where I was or when I was coming back sent you crazy. I kept my spies on you.
I go by the name of King Lil G, and I dedicate this to all my young homies struggling in the motherfucking ghetto. I'ma need you to take a smoke as I take you back to this 90s shit.
Hey. Things are gonna get easy.
Come on!
Ooh, child, things are get brighter. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, child,
come on.
Things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Yeah, I remember when my little homie got recruited. I know you got a lot of heart, but now you gotta prove it. Just a young student, got your mind polluted. Codeine, Zanny pills, and some gangster music. Little homie, you don't know no better. Fuck around and do some time and lose your soul forever. I seen it happen. One of my homies went to prison. I would give him a shout out, but first I need permission. Did I mention Hoppin' Vincent's had to face the consequences? I seen him shedding tears from that life sentence.
Come
I seen
on.
him shedding tears when his wife is mentioned. It hurts my motherfucking heart. The pain is never ending. I can paint a perfect picture. Picture me in different images. My words of wisdom's like the art of war in prison. Homies don't give a fuck about you. They bout to go smoking fuck hoes without you.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah.
Heavenly Father, forgive me, I am a sinner. My spirit was feeling lonely in an alley full of drug dealers. I'm trying to hide my deepest secrets beneath my mother's tears. Man, I'm trying to keep succeeding, take some trips to Sweden. People judge me, but I'm trying to change the earth. I try to tell that younger woman what she's worth. I try to tell her, baby girl, take this knowledge from me. She got corrupted by ambition, her mission is money. But the truth, she don't ever listen. Your dignity is everything, baby, you were born a princess. Just remember there's a reason for that crucifixion. She looked the other way, that's why I'm kinda distant. Eventually your beauty's gonna fade away. I wish you had some pride in your eyes like the 5th of May. Yeah, I wish you had some pride in your eyes like the 5th of May.
Hey!
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Yeah. It's gonna get brighter. It's gonna get brighter. It's gonna get brighter. It's gonna get brighter.
Come on, vocals.
It's gonna get brighter. It's gonna get brighter. Oh yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. So I quickly want to talk about King Lil G with the youth. And I want to talk about how this song took me back. It was very reminiscent and it took me back. And I know because, and the reason why I'm saying this is because it sampled Tupac's Keep Your Head Up, but I loved it because it took me back to a place where me growing up on the East Coast, this took me to a place where where I felt like I grew up in Cali, I grew up in LA, where King Lil G and Tupac are from. Like, and that's the amazement and the genius that you can always expect from King Lil G. You can always expect a story to come from it, and to be able to be caught up within the trance that he's sitting there doing. And the crazy thing about it is, and the reason why I said it reminds me of a story, is because I felt like I was getting very, like, the only thing as this was playing, the only thing that replayed in my head was Menace to Society, and then the other movie with Morris Chestnut and Cuba Gooding Jr., Boys in the Hood. That's the type of vibes that I was getting from this track, along with him sitting there. I felt like he was channeling, like King Lil G was channeling his inner Tupac. Like, Tupac came from the heavens and just entered his soul, and he just sat there and let it all out and let everything out on his track. Like, and to be able to sit there and tell a story, and to have somebody who's from the East Coast, from New York, and to sit there and have them, and from your lyrics and your words, to be able to sit there and picture like me, to feel like I never grew up in New York, to feel like I grew up in LA, and to feel like I can relate to that, is not only genius, is very masterfully done, is very creative. And it's crazy because it's like he didn't even need a visual for this, because of what he sat there and was able to do, because of the great storyteller that he is, if that makes sense. Because it's only so many artists out there that can actually sit there and give you lyrics, give you bars, give you metaphors, give you punchlines, and also tell a story at the same time. And King Lil G is like one of those few people, like SPM, like an Eminem, like if you want to look at mainstream people, Eminem, like a Nas, like a Biggie, like Tupac, who could sit there and do things like that, where they could sit there and tell a story, and then you could sit there and envision what they're saying. Ice Cube, you can envision what they're saying through their raps, and you don't need a visual for it, because that's how gifted they are as artists, and this showcases how extremely talented that they are as individuals. And it's like, that's what I love about King Lil G, to be able to sit there and listen to a song like this, and that is dedicated to youth, to sit there and basically telling them to keep their head up despite the trying times that you may be going through, despite you sitting there growing up in disenfranchised hoods, and being able to sit here and have to maybe see your homies or your homegirls getting gunned down and shot down and drive-bys and things like that. To always look to better days and brighter days, and always keep your head up and keep your focus, keep your grind, and keep trying to ascend and keep going, keep your trajectory upwards, so you can make sure that you escape out of that life and not fall victim to it. And that's what I love about this song. Like, I thought he did an absolutely phenomenal job telling a story and creating an image inside the listener's head, where it's like, I feel like you could have been from China and sat there and be like, wow, I feel like I'm in LA, and I feel like I'm living his story, or the people's story that he's talking about. Like, and that's crazy, because it's like, me personally, it's like the only thing that it automatically clicked in my head: Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, or Dangerous Minds. Movies like that were so centric on the West Coast, and how West Coast living is, and having to do with gang violence, drug violence, and just growing up in the hood in Watts, Compton, let me see, Inglewood, just places like that. And to be able to sit there and think, and to be able to sit there and be uprooted from a place where you are now, and to be like, we're in 2019, and for me to be uprooted from 2019, and to be feel like I was placed in the 90s, back in, like, on a bicycle, and just witnessing like Chuck Taylors hanging from the poles, like the cable cords that be up in the telephone cable cords that be up in the air and stuff like that. It's like so crazy that he was able to sit there and do that, and take me on a vision like that, and to be able to sit there and be like, wow. and be like, you are such an amazing artist, and I wish he was more mainstream, but at the same time I'm kind of happy that he's not more mainstream, because I feel like if he was, they would try to sit there and change him, because like, you know how like where we have a lot of artists where they come out and they sit there and they're authentically themselves, but then they feel like they have to sit there and change and they have to assimilate because the label is not going to support what they're putting out. And so it's like, in a way I'm kind of glad he's not mainstream, because it's like if he was, they would try to change who he is as a person and take his sound and take his voice. And it's like, I love when artists can be authentically themselves, tell their story about what they had to go through and what they had to live through, and not sit there and put on a facade or a front and sit there and make you think that they lived this story, because that's what rap and hip hop was rooted on. Basically, you sitting there telling a story of something that you lived, and that you have lived experience, and you lived that experience. So I thought that was super dope. I thought it was super creative. I thought he did an absolutely phenomenal job laying a foundation in the story of speaking and using it in such an inspirational way of sitting there sampling Keep Your Head Up, to sit there and show that, yeah, you might be seeing drug addiction, you might be seeing people getting gunned down, you might be seeing police brutality, you might be dealing with like how the public school system and inner city school system, and how people are disenfranchised, like your parents, by growing up in on food stamps and being caught up in a social services system. But it's like you're showing that you can get out of it, and to sit there and keep your trajectory upwards and keep your outlook upwards regardless and despite the things that you're going through. So I definitely like that, and I thought that was so boss and so dope of him, and that was amazing. I loved it. So with that being said, I'm not gonna rate this song, because like I always say, you can't rate artistic genius when it comes to somebody being able to tell a story, and he's one of the best doing that. So with that being said, let me know what you thought of King Lil G in the comments below with the youth. And with that being said, please remember to be safe out there. Remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.
They need rappers like me. They need rappers like me, so they can get on their fucking keyboards and make me the bad guy, Chung Lee. Hey, yo,